I'm Buzz Burrell. I'm the brand manager for Ultimate Direction, and I'm really excited about our new Signature Series. For decades, ultra-endurance activities have been blossoming, growing. People have been doing amazing things, and yet the gear they've been using hasn't really changed at all until now. The Signature Series is really different. We brought in 3 of the best ultra runners literally in the entire world, not as sponsored athletes, but as designers, people who bring in with what they know and put it into the products. That's why the Signature Series is really different. It has 3 things that really make it stand apart. First, almost all packs are simply a sack on your back with a bunch of straps to hold it in place, hopefully. The way the Signature Series changes all that, we've integrated the load and the harness into one unified system, so that there's almost no bounce whatsoever and it's extremely comfortable. Secondly, we've introduced amazing new materials. This Hex Mesh is totally breathable, won't absorb any water whatsoever, it does not stretch, and it's ultra lightweight and strong. The stretch mesh is what we used in all the pouches and pockets, which is amazing because if there's very little inside of it, it still doesn't bounce, but it'll expand to fit almost any load, again, still with no bouncing. We're the first major manufacturer to use Cuben Fiber, which is what they use to make America's Cup racing sails out of. It weighs 0.9 ounces per yard, does not stretch, and is totally waterproof. It's really a cool fabric. And lastly, what really has changed the game is the capacity to carry bottles up front. Reservoirs have been the industry standard for 20 years, but by putting a bottle up front, it's easily accessible. You can get it out and in and out instantly, and you can use any size bottle. You can use our 26, you can use our 10-ounce bottle, they just drop right in, or you can even still use a reservoir in the rear. It doesn't really matter. The fun thing about this is that you can use any hydration system that you want. So that's why I'm excited about this, and it kind of goes back a long way. Take a look at this. This is what I used when I set the record on the John Muir Trail. I took an Ultimate Direction vest, which is no longer made, and custom mounted bottle holsters up front just so I could get them in and out really quickly. Peter Bakwin and I set the record on the John Muir Trail using this pack. And so when we started the Signature Series, I talked to Anton and said, hey, how'd you like to do some things here? And he said, well, Buzz, the problem is I really don't like reservoirs. I only like using bottles. I said, I bet we could work with that. Then I talked to my friend Peter. We've done everything from Aconcagua to Gannett Peak and Patagonia. And I said, Peter, how'd you like to bring in what you know into a new product? And Peter said, Buzz, I'm not so sure. I only like bottles. I want to carry bottles up front. I said, Peter, I think we can do that. And finally I talked to Scott Jurek. Scott is the man. I was a little nervous talking to Scott. But then it was amazing. Scott told me that for years he had been using an Ultimate Direction Wasp that he had modified to carry bottles up front. I said, Scott, okay, I think we can do this. So it was amazing the way the Signature Series came together. It was the planets were in alignment. It was an idea whose time had come. I think we're changing the game with this. And with 3 athletes who've brought their knowledge into designing products, not just being sponsored, we have a complete collection now that will do anything for anybody.